What's going on, Indianapolis Colts fans? It's your boy, JP Football Fanatics here with you once again with another record prediction video where we will be analyzing the Indianapolis Colts schedule for the 2023-24 NFL season. Where do you think the Colts are going to end up being this year? Do you think they're going to be above 500? Are they going to be below 500? Maybe just make it to the playoffs? Are they going to just miss the playoffs? And most importantly, in a sense of the draft class from this year, which was a nice draft class, by the way, and of course Anthony Richardson, who was picked at number 4 as the next quarterback for the Colts. How are they going to turn out to be this year? Are they a team that's going to be a dark horse under Shane Steichen, and can they get more of a consistent quarterback play in this new quarterback that they drafted in the draft? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you have not done so already, please be sure to drop a like on this video, which means give it a thumbs up. And also hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more NFL content. I care about you guys so much, and I really want you guys to be able to get the experience. I want you guys to be able to relate with me as far as football goes and be able to really talk about football. That's what I really, really care about. So I want you to do all these things to help this channel grow because I want it to grow bigger and better than what it is already. So without a further ado, let's go ahead and let's analyze the Indianapolis Colts schedule for the 2023-24 season. Okay, so here we go. This is the Colts schedule for this season. A quick synopsis about the Colts. Okay, the draft was a nice draft. I think it's a solid draft. I think it's a draft that you're going to look for them to be successful in the future. Shane Steichen, I like the hiring of the coach. I think he's a offensive-minded guy. I think as far as the ability to be able to coach running quarterbacks, in which they were able to do that with getting Anthony Richardson and also getting Gardner Minshew as the veteran leader for this team too, because he's played under Shane Steichen when he's taken over for Jalen Hurts. So there's a little bit of some relationships there as well between Steichen and Minshew and the ability to draft Anthony Richardson. So I believe the Colts are a team that I don't think they're going to be a playoff team this year, but I think they're probably going to be at least a year or two away from taking that next step to being like a playoff contender, or at least not so much a Super Bowl contender, but a dark horse that could probably make it far in the AFC. Because I think they have some solid pieces, especially on defense, despite losing Stephon Gilmore in a trade with Dallas. I still think they can be pretty nice on defense, and I think if you're going to beat the Colts, you're going to have to beat them offensively, and you're going to have to be able to, do the passing game and the run game all on offense to be able to slow down the defense. So let's take a look at week 1 for the Colts. The Colts play Jacksonville at home. I think Jacksonville should be able to beat you guys. I think this year at least. Of course, they're going to lose to them in week 6 in Jacksonville. That's already like their kryptonite every time they go to Jacksonville. For whatever reason, they always lose to the Jags every single year in Jacksonville. But I think the Jags are the better team in the AFC South. I think they're a team that's, going to be a dark horse Super Bowl contender this year. I think they're a team that should win the AFC South, and I think the Colts they're going to be, I don't think they're going to be offensively made yet to be able to beat that many teams, like good teams, and that includes the Jags. So the Jags sweep you guys this year in both week 1 and week 6. Week 2, you take a look at the Houston Texans. I think you're going to split with the Texans this year. I think you can beat them in week 2, and then I think you lose to them later on in the season. So like the last week of the season, just like how you did a year ago. The Texans, they're kind of building up a little bit. I don't think they're a bad team whatsoever. I think they're building their team up. They've picked up some nice pieces along the way in free agency and in the draft, but they still have a long ways to go to being a good team. So that's why I'm saying I don't think the Colts are going to sweep them per se, but I do think there's a good possible chance that they may split this year. And who knows? Maybe by the end of the year, we might see a CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson head-to-head matchup. Who knows? Next, we look into week 3. You play the Baltimore Ravens. I would think the Ravens should be able to beat you guys because I feel like the Ravens are one of the most prolific and the most intriguing AFC teams so far, based off of what they've done in the offseason now that they gave that extension to Lamar Jackson. So I think the Ravens are going to have a lot to play for this year. And I think they can take advantage of the weaknesses that the Colts have offensively and maybe even defensively. They could probably stay in there, stay in the game a little bit, but it's Lamar Jackson. It's the Ravens. It's going to be a lot. Week 4, you play the Los Angeles Rams. This should be an interesting game. The Rams, I feel like, are a team that can be that could be good, but at the same time, I think a lot of it is definitely going to go towards the injury bug, and that's something that the Rams went through last year, and not a whole lot of depth there. So as far as this game is concerned, I think it could go either way. Probably more so. I would probably say the Rams would probably win this game a little bit. I would favor them over the Colts because I feel like Sean McVay and that offense. I think they can get some things going, and as long as Matthew Stafford is healthy, all will be good. Then you go to week 5. You play the Tennessee Titans, just like with the Texans. I think you split with the Titans this year. I'm going to say you probably will lose to them in week 5. Especially if Gardner Minshew is starting in this point in the season, and then you beat them later on in week 13. The Titans are a team. I think Mike Vrabel is definitely going to be able to, compete with you. I think he'll definitely stay in the game. And, with both defenses really being good, I can expect it to be a low score and defensive game. So I think you split with the Titans this year. Week 7, you play the Cleveland Browns. The Browns should be able to beat you this year. I would not be surprised if Indy came in and they, I wouldn't be surprised if Indy came in and beat the Browns because I think the Browns are a beatable team. But now that Smith is now with the Browns, that could help their defense out and make them a little bit tougher to beat. So, and Deshaun Watson too as well. He's had a lot of history playing the Colts when he was with the Texans, so that might be a factor there too. So, that game could go really either way, but I think the Browns on paper should win. You go to week 8, then you play the New Orleans Saints. I think this game could really go either way. The Saints have a really nice defense. Derek Carr, going to be the starting quarterback for this team. Chris Olave, it's going to be tough. Alvin Kamara should be back this year unless if suspensions play in. So I could see this game really going either way. So I probably would say if anything, I probably would go with I kind of will go back to this game. I think I'll go back to this game later on because I kind of want to just kind of analyze it a little bit more to see what I really think about it. Week 9 is a revenge game for Frank Reich as the Colts go in and they play the Carolina Panthers where Frank Reich plays right now. Two of the top quarterbacks right now in the draft class from Bryce Young, who's playing for the Panthers, and Anthony Richardson playing for the Colts. And who knows if this matchup will even happen by week 9 at that point. We could assume so, maybe. It's definitely going to be an either way kind of game, but I think the Panthers have just a little bit more juice. I think they have the coaching advantage for sure. I also think they do have the right quarterback that's going to be able to beat them in this stage. So I'll go with the Panthers in week 9. Week 10, you play the Patriots. I think the Patriots beat you. This game is being played in Germany. So I do think this game is, I think it's a game that the Patriots should be able to win. I think their defense is going to be so solid, and they're going to beat the Colts in every single way. So I think the Patriots win that game. Going to the bye week, then you go to week 12, you play the Tampa Bay Bucks. I think this is the game that the Colts could possibly win. I think both defenses are pretty good. Baker Mayfield playing for the Bucks, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, that'll be a tough duo to stop. But in recent times of when we've seen the Bucks play the Colts at least, you've always had some good times in terms of, slowing them down defensively. And I think that continues there. But I think the Colts actually beat them this time. And Baker Mayfield has a lot of turnovers in this game. So the Colts will win that game, I feel like. And also at that point, Anthony Richardson probably will be playing. Then we go over to week 13. We already said that. Week 14, you play the Cincinnati Bengals. I could definitely see this game going really either way. I could see the Bengals coming in here and blowing the doors off of the Colts, or I could see this being like a really tight defensive game that comes down to a last second field goal. But the Bengals should win. I think the Bengals are still obviously they're the best team, one of the best teams at least in the AFC. So, there's a bit of a mixed match there, but I can see the defense giving Joe Burrow and company some problems. Week 15, you play the Steelers. This game kind of goes either way. I feel like obviously the Steelers are better. They have the better coaching staff, the more trustworthy coaching staff that is. And, I feel that, the Steelers, in this case, Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, that relationship duo right there between the quarterback and the receiver. I think this game could go either way. I think the Steelers still win though by the edge on the skin of their teeth because I feel like the coaching staff wins it at the end of the day, and obviously defense. As long as that defense is healthy and TJ Watt is in there, it's going to be hard to beat them. Week 16, you play the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. I again could see this game going really either way. I do think the Falcons are a team that they're going to be competing for the NFC South. So that's going to be really interesting to see. They're going to be competing for that division title. Not saying that they're going to win it by any means because the Saints and the Panthers are definitely up there by a long shot. So I could definitely see this game being like going neck and neck with each other. Another game that, interesting. Both teams will really want to run the ball. Jonathan Taylor and Bijan Robinson. That will be interesting. But I do believe that, the Colts at the end of the day, I think their defense is solid. And if they do get some passing games, the passing game going there with Desmond Ridder, I think it's going to be too much for them to handle. So the Colts probably will win this game because I think that defense is going to be pretty tough for Desmond Ridder to get anything going. Then you go to week 17, you play the Raiders. A rematch of last year's game. The Colts came in, I believe they won on a last second touchdown drive there. And I think the Raiders are better this year now that they have someone like Jimmy Garoppolo. The defense has been worked up a little bit, so that'll be interesting to see. So I think the Raiders actually win in week 17. Then we kind of go back to the New Orleans Saints game. I think this game could really go either way, but at the end of the day, it's Derek Carr, it's the Saints, the coaching staff, the defense. It'll be a low-scoring defensive game. I feel like maybe we'll see a couple of picks thrown here and there. But at the end of the day, I trust Derek Carr to get the job done. So I'll take the Saints to win in week 8. So overall, we're looking at a losing season for the Colts, which is something that's predictable. I could probably see this team maybe going 6-11, maybe getting a couple wins there. Like, for example, maybe like these upset wins. Like maybe they could beat the Ravens or they can beat the Rams in week 4 and they could be 5-12 for that matter. I think the defense will be fine. I just think offensively, they still need a lot of work, especially offensive line. And we need to see where the coaching staff is, and we need to know the quarterback situation and what that's going to look like. And if Anthony Richardson's ready to go, maybe they could be better. But right now, I'm just going by based off of what I see. And I don't really see them being a playoff team, but I think they're going to be competitive in every single game that they play in. So with that being said, everybody, what do you think about the Colts this year? Do you think they're above? Do you think they're below 500? Where do you guys think as far as where you think they stand? Let me know in the comments down below and, tell me what you guys think. It's JP Football Fanatics. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before I sign off, please be sure to drop a like on this video and please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well and hit that notification bell. So that notification bell that you hit there, that's always going to always tell you as far as when I'm posting new content in. And so that way you guys can follow it and watch anything that I have new posted, whether if it's a podcast or a pre-recorded podcast, you guys will be in tune with that. So do all those things, help the channel grow. It's your boy James. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Peace.